93% of people are experiencing housing stress as extreme pressures of housing costs reach an unprecedented high. A new Salvation Army survey has revealed all of these details, and joining me to discuss this now is Major David Collinson from the Salvation Army. David, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. So can you just elaborate a little more on some of your findings on this survey?
Yeah, Peter, what we're finding in our survey, we've had over 1,000 people surveyed that have come to our services. And what's really evident in that research is that 93% of people are spending 30% of their income and more on housing costs. So that's leaving little amount of money for food and medical costs. 86% are actually spending 50% of their income on housing costs. So that's rent, mortgages, etc. So then they don't have the money left just to do the essentials such as food.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you finding, David, that, I mean, we've got some of these statistics there on our screen now, obviously, but are you finding that people just go without food? And how often does that happen? They just go without?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Like it says there, 45% are going without meals. So the essentials of life are really tough for a lot of people at this time.
So they just got to deal with that?
Yeah.
What other options are there?
Eat with friends, drop over to other people's houses, sometimes turn up at the Salvation Army in different places to get free meals.
And what do you find that on average people are living on per day, money-wise?
$11 a day for people coming to our services, and as low as $4 a day for some people who are on government allowances.
$4 a day?
$4 a day, yeah.
Well, I mean, what does that even get you?
Absolutely, not much.
Yeah. And for all those who aren't going or are foregoing medical treatment and medical supplies, that's obviously not a great way to live. What sort of a life are they having?
Yeah, well, obviously that puts other stresses on their family, and if people aren't physically and mentally healthy, they can't care for others and their family, and puts other stress on their close ones.
How much do you think the pandemic has accentuated these things and kind of widened that gap?
Yeah, well, we're seeing obviously a lot more issues with mental health, and people obviously have been more isolated, more disconnected, so that puts extra pressure on families as well. We're seeing people turn up at our centres for the first time. Some would sort of say more middle class people turning up for the first time because of the stress they're under.
Is that new?
Yeah, that's new for us.
You mentioned that the first time, yeah. And just broadly, we saw some of those stats a little bit earlier. Is that a number, or are those percentages that seem to be increasing?
Yeah, their percentages are increasing for us. And over these last 12 months with the pandemic and people coming to our centres for help. And
I guess the worry would be that would continue to worsen.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are on an all-time high for us, and more people are turning up at our centres, and so we need help from all Australians to help us get through this time.
And how are you going with staffing, and how are your staff members going, seeing all this?
Yeah, well, again, we've had some issues like most organisations with volunteers because of COVID restrictions, and some of our volunteers are elderly, so some of our centres had less people to help in our centres. So there's been all sorts of stress on our centres. We have over 2,000 centres across Australia, Peter, and we have, out of those centres, 2,000 centres, we've given over 1 million sessions, or we call it of need, occasions of need, provided care in those centres. So it's a lot of work going on right across Australia.
Okay, David, we'll appreciate you coming and sharing some of those results with us today, even though they're not what we kind of want to see.
Yeah. Can I just say one last thing?
Go for it.
salvationarmy.org.au. If you're able to help, if you've got some spare money, this weekend we'll be out and about with the Salvation Army Red Shield Appeal. We'd love to receive your donations so we can help Australians doing life tough.
Great.